feels like it's really late. I just got out of the shower and there, right in front of me, was a spider crawling down. It was absolutely terrifying. I literally screamed for my brother to come and kill the stupid thing. I was really debating whether or not I wanted to film this tonight because I worked a lot. Last night I worked until 1:30 in the morning, and today I worked from 9:30 to 5. So I'm really tired, but I wanted to get this in before I did my wrap up for this month. Okay, probably should start this video now. Hello everyone. So, I lied. In February, I said I was not gonna have a big book haul next month. Yeah, that was a lie. I have 8 books to show you that I got this month. I was just hoping that I'd do well because I only pre-ordered 2 books. And I thought that was all I was gonna get this month, but apparently not. I got a lot more than that. But that's okay because I have a lot of exciting books to show you guys, and 2 of them I read this month. So I'm kind of doing well. When I buy books, I read them almost right away. So yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Not putting them off like I normally would. Anyway, let's just get on with my March book haul. The first book I got in March, I was kind of debating on buying it. I wasn't going to, but the more I kind of heard about it on BookTube, the more I wanted to buy it, is Starflight by Melissa Landers. I'm not a huge sci-fi fan. I really liked Red Rising, which I talked about plenty, and that's kind of a sci-fi book, but I'm not really a huge fan of it, so that's why I think I kind of hesitated picking this up. But I kept on hearing space pirates, and I'm like, pirates. Dang, the first time I heard it, I'm like, okay, I'll be fine. It's in space, not a huge fan of that, so I'm not gonna get it. But I kept on hearing it over and over again. If this has even any little smidge to do with some type of piracy, I'm gonna want it. So that's basically why I picked it up. It's a really pretty book, and I really like how it feels. The cover kind of feels really cool. It's about a girl named Solera, and she is a criminal, and it's branded on her knuckles, and she's trying to find work and try to go to the outer realm where there are no laws, and she travels with her old enemy from high school. I don't know when I'm gonna pick this up, but like I said, I heard space pirates and I just couldn't resist. The next book I got, this was the book that I pre-ordered, and I haven't talked about this series much on my channel. A long time ago, probably 2 or 3 years ago, I read a series called Morganville by Rachel Kane. My aunt introduced me to that series and I just flew through all of the books, and the book that I pre-ordered then was Midnight Bites, and this is just a collection of short stories set in Morganville, and Morganville is basically about this girl, and she's in college, and she is having a really tough time. There's bullies at her dorm, so she goes and tries to move in with these people off campus, and there turns out that this town is full of vampires. It's actually a very good series, and I highly recommend it. There are vampires, but it's not really, I mean, it's heavily in there, but it's nothing like Twilight. If you're not a fan of Twilight, it's nothing really like that. It's very good. But I got the collection of short stories, and I think it's just from a bunch of different people's perspectives. When you film for about 5 minutes talking, and you just realize that the camera turned off. So I was just talking, and it wasn't even recording. Why? The next 2 books I bought are part of a series that is Prince's Gambit and King's Rising by C.S. Pact. This is actually the second and third book in the trilogy, the first one being Captive Prince. I read Captive Prince and Prince's Gambit in March, and I am currently reading King's Rising. I pretty much just started it. First of all, these covers are just stunning, I think so. And what I really like about Prince's Gambit is it's really floppy and it just feels really nice when I was reading it. And the books match so perfectly and they look so good together. It's so beautiful. Since these are second and third books in the trilogy, I'm not going to talk about these ones, but Captive Prince is about a prince named Damon, and he was supposed to take the throne after his father died, but his illegitimate brother took his spot and sent Damon over to the enemy's side to be a slave to the prince. There's a lot of political aspects of these books which I really enjoy. There's a lot of court things involved and a lot of strategy. But there is also a lot of mature content and there is abuse and rape. So if those are trigger warnings for you or you don't want to read that, I would suggest staying away from this series. I'll talk about these books more in my March wrap-up because hopefully I'll finish King's Rising before then. The next book I picked up in March was one of my most anticipated releases, and that is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I have already read and reviewed this book. I'll leave it down below. I will talk about more of my thoughts in that review and in my March wrap-up, but I'm just really excited to have this book in my hands because any Cassandra Clare book just makes me really, really happy, and I'm really excited to be back in this world. All I'm really gonna say about this book is that it is set 5 years after the Mortal Instruments series, and I highly, highly recommend reading the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices before you read Lady Midnight because there's a lot of references to that book and you might not appreciate this book as much if you didn't read her previous series. This next book I pre-ordered and I'm very, very excited for this book. I did not realize this book was coming out until I saw it on Amazon and I'm like, I need this book. I don't even care what it's about. I just need it. And that is Wink, Papi, Midnight by April Genevieve Tuchoke. Such a hard name to say, but I hope I got it at least a little bit right. It's a really, really thin book, so I think I'll get through it pretty fast. I read Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea by her, and I absolutely love that book so much. It's so good and so creepy and weird, but it's really, really good. So when I heard that this book was coming out, I knew I needed to get my hands on it. The inside flap, all it says is every story needs a hero, every story needs a villain, every story needs a secret. Wink, Papi, Midnight. 2 girls, 1 boy, 1 summer, 1 bad thing. What really happened? Someone knows. Someone is lying. Doesn't that sound so good? I'm just so excited that it's a mystery and that's all I know about it, and I can't wait to get to this one. I hope I get to it really, really soon. The next book I have, I'm really, really excited for, and I just recently heard about it, but that is First Life by Jenna Showalter. First of all, this cover is stunning. And I love the feel of it. I don't really know the texture, but it just feels really, really nice. This sounds really, really interesting. It's about a girl named 10. Essentially, this world is that your first life is kind of like a practice run, and it doesn't really count. And then your second life is what actually matters. So there's 2 different realms that you can choose from, and these 2 realms are at war with each other. Henley is about to die from her first life, and the 2 realms are trying to recruit her into their group, and this book just sounds really, really interesting. I actually haven't heard anything about this, but I'm really excited to read it. And the last book I picked up is kind of an impulse buy. I actually did a little bit of research on this, and it came out 3 years ago now. Wow. 3 years ago. It came out in 2013. And the reason why I picked this book up is because I was looking at pictures that Cassandra Jean drew for my Lady Midnight review, and I came across this picture. If I'll show it right here if you want to see it, or I'll leave it down below. Just from this picture, I wanted to see what this book was about, and that book is Unspoken by Sarah Rees Brennan. I honestly really don't know much about this book. It's just I saw that picture and I thought this looks like a really good series. And all I really know about it is there's this family, the Lineburn family, and they're very mysterious. People really don't like talking about them, and they left for a long time. But they finally came back into this town. And this girl named Cammie, she runs the school newspaper, and she kind of gets tied up with two brothers from the Lineburn family, and Cammie loves a boy that she's talked to in her head, and when the Lineburns come back, she sees that boy in real life, and it just sounds really, really interesting. I don't really know too much about it, but I'm kind of just wanting to dive into this book and see what it's all about. Hopefully it's as intriguing as the picture was. So here are all of the books that I got in March. I'm not gonna make any promises about not having another book haul next month, because who knows with me and my sporadic book buying. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please feel free to, and I will talk to you next time. Bye! If you didn't notice, I'm trying to be quiet. My brother's sleeping. By Melissa Myers Landers. Dang it, I knew that was wrong. Process of getting my thumbnail. Took me a lot longer than it should have. Oh my god. Why am I having such a hard time with this? Of course, good thing that was just the paper pack. Oh, okay. This probably isn't that good of an idea, but we're going with it.